Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my dear?
I'm doing so well. Welcome back from your
Good.
vacation.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, I forgot how it went. That's right. When was it? How was it? I don't remember. It's been at least a week now.
Yeah. Well, right. And oh my gosh. Well, I mean, since we've last been on here, the center is open.
That's right. Exactly. So there's been a lot of excitement, a lot of things going on. The
Yeah.
vacation was wonderful. It kind of like it was a blur. I mean, I was talking to my husband yesterday, Brian, and it was like, "Do you remember the vacation?" He's like, "Barely." That when was that?
Oh my
And so it
God.
just, I know, a lot going on, a lot of activity.
Well, the center was the opening night. That was amazing. The turnout was amazing. The
It
energy
was
felt
great.
amazing. It was the perfect size room. I know that
It
that was
worked
had
out
been a
well.
fear. It was so
Yep,
perfect. And even when everyone got set up in a circle, it felt great.
it did. It had
So
a lot of good synergy. For those that came out, we did take care of the mosquito problem, just so everyone knows, because we ended up with the door open right there by all that ivy. We started
mm.
getting mosquitoes in. They're all gone. We got rid of all the mosquitoes and sprayed. The center sprayed, and we sprayed for mosquitoes. So no more.
It was so cute. What I kept noticing is, we have that whole wall's a window, which I love,
Yep, I
love.
love it. Yep.
And it was so cute because people that were intending to come to the class, they'd have to pass by that giant window with all of us in there. And so
Yep.
you felt their energy would tighten a little bit because naturally,
Yep.
and then
Hmm.
to come in and you would just feel that let go.
Yes,
It
it
was
was
like,
really
no, this
cool.
does feel good. No, because it is intimidating to like walk through. There's a whole room
It
of people.
is, absolutely. You
That was
betcha.
delightful.
We had a lot of fun. I think we're going to enjoy our future there. I mean, we've got a lot going on. You're going to be teaching
Yeah.
classes next month.
Yes, I'm so
That's
excited.
exciting.
I sent the info to Taylor, but I figured, and I guess I'll tell you this some of this is us just talking always. Um, but this is what and tell me what you think, because but basically, I was thinking about a class called "Where Did You Come From? Where Will You Go?" Making a
I
joke
love
because in
that.
my head I always hear the Cotton Eye Joe song,
Yep,
like "Where did you come?" And it's I said a spirit guided group based on self discovery and getting back to the meat and potatoes of what makes you powerful and beautiful and capable when the trials of the material world make it criminally easy to lose track of oneself.
I
So
love
let's
it.
buckle into the curiosity and discovery of the process and go find us.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Because
We're
over
going to have.
time, I will
Mhm.
probably like I know what I like what you said, like the Dark Knight that will probably phase out over time. That
Over
name
time.
and that yeah, because I realize
Yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah. I think it will over time. And again, it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's all, but you're all
It's
about
intense.
illumination. And
Yeah.
And again, all of that's obviously it all exists, right? I mean,
Mhm.
that's the whole reason we do demonology classes and other classes similar is that they all exist. But I love that class and what you told me about it, and it just feels like the name just needs to be a little bit brighter.
That's all the reality I'm still yeah, that I because that's all we do in that class anyway, because I don't allow people to talk about people that aren't there and, like, some certain protective things.
That's
So,
right.
we just start talking about, like, how you become more of you and less of what you think you should be. So I figured, why don't
Exactly.
I just name it that?
That's exactly right. Well, it's
And there
funny
was a lot
too.
of
We got
ego in the other one.
and there's okay. When you start a new class, it's kind of like your baby. I
Yeah.
mean, there is ego. It's not even ego, really. It's protection. You're like, this is mine.
I
I
want it to be
created it.
perfect. You're like,
I want it to be
"No.
perfect, and sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And I'm not saying it wasn't. I just love the name change.
Thank you."
And again, with all that in mind, Steven's got one coming out, and it's going to be something like, "Am I haunted or just crazy?" And I love
Yes.
that because
Yes.
again, that's the way we think, right? So it's kind of in
1,000%.
the heels of everything. It's the reality of what we do, right? It's
Mhm.
the reality of what we teach. The good thing is we don't have to sidestep things. We don't have to walk on eggshells. We don't have to get permission. I mean, we know enough about what's needed in our community and our society, and then a lot of feedback, which we appreciate, helps us to create these classes.
Yes.
And that's the fun of it. When we can help other people in a fun way, then that's the good stuff.
And that is the core. I was saying this to before we started this to someone, but like I will say this. Yes, we're a demographic of people that we do need insights, we do need, help from spirit.
Right.
And we'll sit there and we'll say, Spirit, help me with this, help me with that. But then it comes down also to there's a demographic of people that are well worth, like they're not sure,
Right.
and we forget what it felt like when we weren't sure because it feels like that was a while ago. But there was somewhere we went that allowed us to feel safe to get curious.
Right. Yep.
And that's what we're trying to be. We're not trying to tell you how to be. We're not trying to say, believe us. It's like, get curious. We have
That's
enough
exactly
going on.
right. That's right. It's get curious, and that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. It's wild. It's a whole different topic, but it's been a weird morning for me because if anyone knows who Gundry MD is, he's a writer. I've been getting an email every 3 minutes all morning long from this person. I'm like,
what?
Yeah, on behalf of Gundry MD. I mean, there is a million of them. I've already got like 60 of them from this morning. I'm like, boy, oh boy. So after our podcast, guess what I'm going to do?
Light them up. Oh,
No,
right.
well, I'm like, oh my gosh, who would do that? But anyway, whole different topic. But I'm sorry about that. I got distracted.
Oh no, you're perfect.
Because my phone was blowing up. But really, it is the reality of connection, and that's what we're all about. It's the reality of working with others in connection and helping others to thrive. So as we grow and know and things change, and you're right, there's a lot going on in our world right now. We want to be in tune to our clients.
Well, there's an argument about what we do, and I would say, some people psychic, medium, intuitive, walker between worlds, whatever you want to call it, but there's an argument that what we say we do, this thing that we've dedicated ourselves to on some level, is really about helping others interact with a world that is so real, it's not even funny, and
Yep.
yet so not visible to the naked eye.
Yep.
And that just breeds so many problems for people in reality because, yes, there's so much beauty that's visual to us, and there's so much beauty that's clear. A hug will always be a hug. It will always be beautiful, theoretically, right? Like, but there's certain things that as we continue to walk through the things that refine us, how you have people who will go to practitioners and they'll go to 8 energy workers and have a lot of energy work done, and then they can maybe leave feeling more confused, bless you, than when they began, because there's a lot of unknowingness to this work,
right?
Which kind of draws us down. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, which is the whole premise behind lead with love, wisdom second.
Yes. Well, and it brings us kind of to the idea of like everywhere, ever, for always has been this idea of a shaman.
Yes.
And so I'm curious, what is the perspective from spirit side, I guess, as far as what they perceive a shaman is? And then what do you think humanity's most common perspective about that would be? And is it different, right?
That is different. It most definitely is different. Shamanic practices, a shaman really is about a Mother Earth. It's about taking the resources that are made from Mother Earth, that are from the world, the earth, and building a life on it and around it. We've kind of embellished all this ideology around what it's supposed to be or what we think it is in our modern day thoughts, which is, it's a bunch of Native Americans running around and, talking to spirits and, talking to the weatherman and making it into something kind of just weird. Shamanism is a way of life, number one. I've heard from people, you can't be a shaman unless you're a Native American. You can't be a shaman if you're a woman. You can be, and I've heard that from people. And I just want to just throw a reminder out there that shamanism is a way of life. It isn't necessarily about who you are or who you're not. It's about a deeper connection, a more wholesome connection to the earth and to the elements and to nature and to the natural world around us. Having respect for the animal kingdom, recognizing that although we are, basically in charge of the animal kingdom, it is an amazing, beautiful kingdom. and we have a lot of respect for it and a lot of understanding about it. Now, we don't all have to go out with bows and arrows anymore, and or whatever modality to catch them. We don't have to do that now because we're more, I don't want to say civilized, I'm not sure we really are, but we'll use that for all purposes, civilized society. uh, we can go to the grocery store. So it's nevertheless, people really take it out of context and think it's this really, far-fetched, go out and, live in the by yourself in the middle of nowhere, and now you're shaman. That's not true.
Well, this thing I kept seeing online, which I don't necessarily agree with. I don't know though, so please you tell me what you feel. The idea that only like there's a sort of thing of like you have to be picked. There's all these rules. You have to be picked before birth. All these things have to happen. I think that is a process that is by fire, but that it's available to anybody and everybody.
Yes, and
just
that is
people
true.
Don't pick it.
That's right. It just adds another layer to the onion, right? Well, you've got to be picked at birth, and I've heard that as well. And not everyone can be a shaman. And
what
and
value does that bring to the when people say that, I think there's probably truth to some extreme gifts,
right?
But I think that path, you're right, it's a path. It's not.
It is a path. Now, with that said, please understand, for those out there that have been called, because I do have clients that have been called, what a beautiful thing. You have your entire existence, you have your entire upbringing being raised and cultivated with the notion and the mindset of shamanism. And so you're going to be much more attuned to nature and tuned to the world around you. You're going to work more with the elements. You're going to respect the elements more. What a beautiful thing. Hey, I say go call out everybody, because that's the good stuff. But we recognize, and some people call it a religion as well. Some people are saying this is a religious practice, just like it is to be, Episcopalian or Methodist or whatever other, Wiccans, whatever. And again, is that correct? Well, maybe to that person it is. I don't know. I'm not going to super judge them.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't appreciate with shamanism is the way people take it and they make it into a very exclusivity. They are the only valid shaman. They are the only one that can be a shaman, and I'm just not there. Okay, I don't. I don't particularly care for that kind of club.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it starts to, yes, that's the. It almost feels that, when we think about your nephew, if there's anybody who is more qualified than to do the work of a shaman, it is that man.
Yes.
And yet, if you were to talk with him, to engage with him as a normal human being, there's nothing about his presentation that represents that.
No.
He's just calm, cool, collected. You kind of get a sense about him that he can handle most things, and that's pretty much all you feel.
Right. And he's very connected to nature.
Wow. It's insane what he's capable of, but yet he wears it not at all. And I would maybe make an argumentation about that with you as well, from the perspective of, you don't walk around with one of those rain sticks. Like, you're not out here being, and you're one of the most bloodline connected, the most gifted, and you're not over here. Do you see what I mean? Like, I think that there's a lot of beauty in how there is ability in that calling.
Yes.
If you were called before birth, I bet you're not loving it, because that process is so by trial by fire.
It is.
So then, if you're over here shouting from the rooftops, I almost think that you're not really wishing that for someone else.
No. There are many wonderful, wonderful shamans out there, I feel quite certain of. I personally, and this is the nature of what I do and do, right, wrong, or indifferent. I have one person that I refer to for shamanic work. One person. And we have a whole sea of them, but everyone wants to be one.
And do we feel comfortable sharing, or no, on the pod?
Oh, in fact, I've been looking up to see her book because I have her book.
Oh, cool.
She's an amazing woman, and she knows that I refer her all the time. Um, her name is Patricia Elksdale. And I usually have her book sitting right here. Patricia Wall. It's also Walls is one of her.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Patricia Walls. That's a perfect book. If anyone's interested,
I
I'll read it
love
for
that
you.
cover.
It's called Feeding the Wolf Within: How to Recreate Your Life Using Ancient Tools That Go Beyond Shamanism.
I might need to read that.
She's just an amazing author. She's an amazing healer, mentor. She's just an all-around wonderful woman. And again, her books are Patricia Walls. It's also Elkdale. She's on Facebook if you want to reach out to her. She's just an amazing soul. And I am extremely picky when I recommend people. And so you have to pretty much be on my radar for me to recognize you. And that's not, I'm not saying that bad or good. I'm just simply saying that. And she's definitely who I recommend for shamanism.
Well, and while we're speaking about shamans, I would make an argument. My old therapist, who is the reason I met you, but Felicia Porter, while she is not, I mean, I don't know what else I would call her. She's an amazing. She helped me a lot. So I would argue she's kind of when I walked into her office, because she's very spiritual, very Native American in her office. I didn't at the time that I was working with her, I didn't believe in any of this stuff. So I almost kind of was like, ooh. And then now to come to find, oh my gosh, that was her calling as well, I feel.
Yeah. And again, the wonderful thing about life and the wonderful thing about journeys is that most people that are on a true authentic journey are not out there waving, a banner that says, look at me, I'm a shaman. Look at me, I'm a shaman. Look at me, I'm this. Look at me, I'm this. Because that's ego. That's an ego-based energy. That's someone who feels like the only way they can be recognized is through a recognition of shamanism. Title. I'm a medium. I'm all these things, and that's great. We all are these things, and don't get me wrong. We have a right to be proud of it. But there are those out there that they may be beating that drum, but I'm not sure who they're beating it for. Okay.
Hey, that's hilarious too. I love the pun.
That'll be on one of our little cues, right?
Yes.
You may be beating your drum, but I don't know what you're doing it with. No. But anyway,
let's kind of ask, because I love, as we talk about the people that practice it, and I'm curious what your perspective is on the sort of kind of talking about the trial by fire and how that works with the relationship of gifts, understanding like how, because we recognize, there's this unfortunate thing you sense in a metaphysical community that oftentimes those that have endured have a sensitivity. And we could probably take that to psychological, which is if you have an unsafe environment when you're young, you're just hyper cued into little changes in emotion. And so that's the best training ground ever. But then it almost, I've heard this and I've felt this too. If you look at it wrong, it almost seems unfair. But if you look at it with a lot of love and gratitude and understanding of what this is for, it starts to feel much more beautiful. So, when somebody sits with you and they say, well, I've had so many pains and trials and it just seems like they don't stop. What would you say about that process for them?
I'd say, well, more than anything, first I would let them know that I feel saddened to hear that. I wouldn't say I feel sorry for them, because why would I feel sorry for them? I'm saddened to hear that they had such a rough, difficult time. But the reality is we're going to grow and know by our experiences. And just because someone has a traumatic experience certainly doesn't cut them off from knowing and growing. And as you said, it actually helps them to go far beyond what is usual and customary. No, I don't want everyone to think, oh gosh, I can be traumatized and my life is going to be better in the end. No. That's not the way it works. But if you're going to have a rough beginning, or wherever you land in that rough life, you have a right to gain something better from it, right?
I love that. You have a right to gain something better.
Right. You may have a bad situation. I couldn't wave a magic wand. I couldn't snap my fingers and make my life better. But what I didn't do was sit and feel sorry for myself either. Now, was that ego? No, I think that was a child trying to survive. And so I had to look at things from my perspective. The way I see it is, if I have this scenario, what am I going to do to amplify the best in it? If I know right down to the core it's a miserable situation, what can I do to amplify something I can retain that's positive? What can I gain from it that maybe isn't really available to everybody who's just out there?
In that process when you were younger and things are just happening and they're not fair, whatever it is, and you know, did you always maintain that perspective of I'm not going to be like a victim about this, or did you ever dance with that where you're like, I just want to be a victim? This is not cool. And how
You
did you
know
get
that,
out?
and that's a really good question. And trust me, I wallowed in my own self pity quite a bit. There were moments up until into my early, adulthood, where I would sit and scream.
Mm,
I would just sit and scream at the top of my lungs. I
mm,
mean, trauma is trauma, and it gets to all of us. If it's there, if it's present, it's going to find a way to sneak its way in at on some level, at
mm-hmm.
some level. And there were times I would just scream and I'd feel sorry for myself and why me and why me, why me. But when you coexist with pain, you have to find a little bit of, you have to kind of make friends with it a little bit so you can work with it. I know that sounds
Mm-hmm.
strange, but I couldn't divide energy and go, this is the good side of life and this is a bad side of life. I had to kind of merge them together and make the both of them kind of coexist. And that was not always easy. Okay, that was not always easy.
Well, it feels like that there's something around the topic of you have a right, RITE,
Hmm.
with those pains, but
Right,
then you have
that's
a right,
exactly.
RIGHT,
Hmm.
to become dominant over those if you are able to master it.
Exactly.
So then when you sit with another client and you have the energy of fear and you pass that right when you were at home as a child,
Right.
maybe you have more dominion to help the other person as they fight their own fear because
And I agree
you
with that.
understand that very well.
I do.
I couldn't
And
see it that way for a while. It just
and
felt
it's
all
quite
unfair. Now I
well,
feel it different.
and now you feel it differently. That's right, because it's we're going to come, hopefully we're going to come to that recognition on some part of the timeline where we did gain something from the pain. And I'm going to tell you, realistically, if you look at it, and and I may get in trouble for this, but I don't care. If you look at therapists, most therapists and psychologists have trauma.
Hmm.
They go into the field because they have trauma. They've lived through trauma. They've experienced trauma. They handle trauma differently because they've had a lot of time working on it.
Hmm.
Okay? It's just like if you're going to have someone in your baseball team, wouldn't you want someone who's hit the ball a few times?
Or
You
even
see?
better yet, they said, or even an umpire who knows all the rules that wants to play.
Bingo. That's right.
I love that.
Exactly. And so what you're dealing with, again, yes, we could go and we could go into our pity party and go into our group, and I'm sorry, I'm not putting anyone down, but some of these groups for trauma, dear God, you come out suicidal because you
Hmm.
think the world is a horrible, horrible human place, of horrible, horrible humans, because every single person has a tragic story. You lose sight that,
Yes.
that there's more that there's more to life than just these tragedies. That's why I'm not really big into that kind of work with the
One
group.
thing you shared with me a long time ago that did not resonate until very recently was the idea, and I remember this back in training, but you don't remember until you need it, where it's like you were always saying that's always available, and so the and then in an immature place or in a painful place, you're sitting there thinking, well, if it's available, then it's mine to enjoy, almost that, like, that almost like pain. You claim it because you're in pain.
Right?
When you're past that pain, you have no investment in keeping it. You have no investment in feeling it.
Nope.
But when it's active, it feels like yours and it's precious for that reason.
True.
But then, and I see a lot of clients who will, and I'm that, like, we've recently, and it didn't make sense to me, or it was hard for me sometimes to understand how could someone say, well, why are you so interested in your pain? And then now it's sort of like, I have so much more love and patience and understanding for somebody who is doing that. But I also understand I don't, there's nothing to covet there.
No.
Just because you have pain and it is yours and it is beautiful for that reason, that's not a good reason to stop the alchemical process there.
Right.
It's not just to dance in, it's there to refine at some point to kind of get the data and then sharpen yourself. And the pain was just a vehicle to that.
Exactly. Well stated.
That's so hard to see sometimes when you're in it.
Well, sure. When you're in it, I mean, oh my gosh, pain is pain. Trauma is trauma.
You want to put it on
just
a
wanna-
pedestal almost. And then you realize that's not the pedestal. The pedestal is what you become after it.
That's exactly right.
And not even that's a pedestal. I don't like that word.
No,
as I say it. But you know what I mean.
But I understand why the reference from it. Yes, it truly is, and it really on all levels and all discussions, it's truly a matter of choice. What do you choose to become? What do you choose to do with what you become? What do you choose to be after you've had all these tragedies? What do you choose to be if you've had a great life? What do you choose to be? Do you choose to be a shaman? Do you choose not to be a shaman? Okay. Yes, there are cultures, and we touched on that you are only a shaman if you are called as a child into that. And I get it. That's fine. That's a practice. That's a beautiful practice for that culture, whatever that culture is. I don't really know. I don't have a name for it. But I just want people
I just heard the human culture.
The human culture. I love it. If you're going to profess to be a shaman, at least know enough about shamanism to be authentic. Educate yourself. Get a book. Get a podcast. Get a. Do something to educate yourself so when you're regurgitating it, you won't sound like a fool. Because I'm sorry, I've heard a few different speeches from a few different quote shamans that I was like, seriously? Where'd you come from? And not because my opinion is better. That's not where I'm going, because that's not it. It's just if you're going to give people something that they want to write down to remember, then make it accurate as best as accuracy can be in what we do in the spiritual world. That's not the physical world.
There's an aspect of this that I think is sort of I don't know. I feel it's important. If it's not, we can cut it. But it's this idea around, and this is in books. Like, so if you research shamanism, you're going to come across this. And I want to know your personal experience or your personal opinion about it. The reason why this work can be not the easiest path is because what I have seen or understood is that there is sort of a, to be able to take within your vessel and alchemize, right? To sort of
alchemize.
deconstruct what you've taken within you. I'm curious, do you feel that that's something that you've endured when you were younger?
And I'm trying to make sure I understand it from that perspective. When you are doing that particular type of work, you're actually breaking some of the standard rules of how to heal, how to clear. You're kind of changing forces. So if I'm understanding you right, when you take in the alchemy of being that, you feel everything. You take it in, and you are the snarling, angry, beast within. You are all of the things that you're dealing with the other person. In order to be able to work with someone effectively, you have to be able to reach down to the worst of them. So, in doing this type of work, I'm not and I mean that I'm not afraid. Maybe that, and you can say that's idiotic, and so be it. Then you've got a new term. You can call me that. I'm fine with that too.
I'm a medium. I'm a psychic. I'm an idiot. That's what they say.
That's what they say, and I love it.
In their world, I guess.
I guess I'm good.
Whatever you want to think.
Whatever. But no, realistically, if you're going to help someone, you got to get into the mud. You got to go into the murk. You got to go into the darkest, deepest rhythms of their energy, and that's what I see. It's the alchemy of things. It's I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to feel and experience. If they're trying to overcome just fears and phobias, or maybe it's more of being, hurt and, traumatized. I want to go in and feel that. I want
Mhm.
to do exactly what they say not to do, which is to take it as your own.
Mhm.
Because if I'm going to help them, I've got to have that beast. I've got to have that
Mhm.
energy that shows me what I'm working against or working with.
Well, in a lot of the traditions, it seems to be true that especially in the Native American cultures and in the Maori cultures,
The Maori culture.
you would not even be gifted that title until you had passed this particular aspect of it.
Right.
So while I'm not, we've discussed gatekeeping as being, not something we're the most promotive of, but we do have to recognize there's a dangerous component to this work.
Oh, absolutely.
And not
Absolutely.
everyone can handle that. And I
No.
think that one of the most beautiful components is those we aren't without helping hands, as I've seen you extend in multiple occasions. So we aren't really left all alone to fail miserably.
No.
But there are some people who would maybe pursue that path and not be able to finish
Right.
that.
And
And
that's
that's
perfectly fine.
yeah. And but we have to understand, when somebody is called to that energy and say that you're going to a class and say that they're, one thing we don't really promote is you should never be eating or drinking something in a meditation class. That's just not really a great idea. If you feel a darkness around somebody who's arguing this type of spiritual work, understand that you get taken to the dark quite often in that work. And there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of clearing that has to be done. There's a lot of hygiene, it's spiritual hygiene that has to be upkept. And
Yeah.
we recognize that we're only human.
Right.
And so some people, we can accrue bad habits and then have to kind of go back through the purification process.
Right.
And so, as you sit offering your path into the eyes of another person, we also, your intuition might say, oh, they might be in a different place in this shamanic process. They might
Right.
not be in the place that we would feel the most safe with them working with us. And that's okay.
Right.
But just have that knowingness, that self awareness.
Right. And that's true. And there's one thing, and again, this is probably going to raise eyebrows in some people. And again, that's what I'm here for, right?
Right?
I mean,
We shake it up. We're the snow
we
globe
shake it
shakers
up.
sometimes.
We're the snow globes. And I have nothing against ayahuasca. I have nothing against, as long as if you're doing mind
I
altering
just felt the need to shake
drugs,
my head. I don't know why. I was
I
like, oh,
if someone's going to do that, hey, more power to you. You. Just don't go drive afterwards, and don't be responsible. Don't subject your minor children to it. Um, I don't have a problem with that. But what I do have a problem with, and I have heard this several times, is that ayahuasca is being promoted more as a shamanic journey. And I'm
it
going to tell you,
is.
I've been on plenty of journeys, and I have never done ayahuasca. Okay, and I'm not saying, well, I do XYZ instead. I'm simply saying you can do it and get there. That's great, and that's fine. You do you. As long as you come out of it alive and you're fine, I'm glad for you. But practice doing this. Practice leaving your body, practicing connecting to earth, practicing connecting to trees, practice on your own without any stimulants or drugs. Do a little bit on your own. If you want to be a true shaman, this is all the works that have to be ongoing. It's not just a trip down memory lane of, doing some ayahuasca.
The other thing that I'm feeling super weird about, I'm just going to be really aggressive with, I don't love this huge push for the ayahuasca. Now they're pushing for that, the honey that is psychedelic. Like basically they're just pushing all the ways to open all the portals in you. That's what's being pushed.
Right, absolutely. We're going back to the 60s. The only thing
And
they haven't brought out was LSD.
the thing that really bugs me is, and I'm going to just say this and I want you to give me your impression of it, the gateway tapes. What does that make you feel?
It makes me feel betrayed.
Yes. It's my, yeah. So there's this, and I call me crazy, but do you remember how recently everyone has gotten attached to the telepathy tapes? It was a podcast.
It's a podcast, yeah.
I feel that there is a push for that to enter itself and then for us to find the gateway tapes. I think there's some kind of intentional link. And
Sure.
then once I realized that that's what, because everyone kept telling me you should watch this podcast, and I have always resisted, and I don't know why. and I believe it's real. Like, I believe in like telepathy is real. Like all this stuff is
Oh,
not new to us.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I felt weird about the name of it. And then I recently discovered I didn't know what these gateway videos. Essentially, they're ways to allow your brain to essentially access different dimensions. It's the exact same thing as LSD or any of these other things, but
Yes.
it's just by tonalities.
Yep.
And it's
Mhm.
on Twitter. I'm sorry, it's on TikTok.
TikTok.
So this kills me. You can just literally listen to them. And
I
I
know.
think that's so wrong.
Well, Sophia, you have to understand, if it's on
Mm.
TikTok, it's got to be pretty damn good, right?
Oh my God. It just kills me because that like
Yeah.
little ones are looking at that stuff.
Yeah. I was being facetious too, for those
No, of
out there.
course. Like I just hate. I don't hate. Like everyone's got their path, but it's. I just wish if we have a platform to the 100 people. Like I love, but just we don't anything that's trying to throw your soul out of its body that isn't something that's calling you like from a soul
Right.
level. Understand it benefits. There are benefits to things other than you for you to open yourself up. And
You've
then
got to be
you're gonna come see a
careful.
shaman to clean up. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you've got to be careful. You've got to use good
Do
common sense. I've seen it, I've heard it. I'm dealing right now with someone, and I'm sorry if anyone is part of this, then maybe you should rethink this. I'm dealing with a beautiful, wonderful client who goes to a air quote church, and once a month they have ayahuasca tea.
what?
Hmm. It's huge. It's a huge
That's around
facility.
here,
Yes, it
and it's
is.
once a month.
Once a month.
Oh, good. Oh, good. All right. Oh, that's
And
so scary.
so, and again, I'm not invited, so I don't know. I know where, but I'm not going to say that. I know in the neighborhood. Let me put it that way. But
Mm.
again, yeah, I'm not judging. I'm not the judge and jury here, but use good common sense, people. I'm going to tell you right now, some of you are not prepared for those journeys. You're going to crack like an egg, and you're going to be picking up
And what does that
pieces.
mean?
Cracking like an egg, you're going to
Yes.
lose yourself. You're going to forget your memories. You're going to forget. Remember, when you erase part of your memory, not everything is the trauma, okay? And
Mm.
also,
What
you
do you
lose a little
mean?
bit of yourself. A
Help
lot
me
of times,
understand that better.
okay, a lot of times people will have the ayahuasca experience, and I'm not putting it down for all those that
Oh,
are getting. And it's really about this powerful experience, of releasing, getting rid of trauma, getting rid of all the things that are bad, bringing in a new awareness, helping you to open up, find your calling, and all that's wonderful, and I love that, and I think that's fantastic. But there's always a flip side to everything, because I see the broken ones too, okay? And they're like going to the ER because they're dizzy all the time. They're frustrated. They don't have a life. Now they feel left out. They've lost their relationships, good or bad. They didn't know if they were right or not.
Mm.
So it's such a big push, and there's so many other flavors right now too. They're
I
really.
know.
It's not just about ayahuasca. There's
I would say we're spiritually under attack. There's a desire for us to open ourselves up
right.
irresponsibly.
Well, it's a fast track.
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's turned
But
into a
not for
fast track.
you, a fast track for the other things that would like to be here.
Right.
Like there's no fast track for us as a human desiring to be part of more, to experience connection.
Right.
It's like that's why it's so this is where I get kind of emotional. It feels unfair because all these people, like most of the people who are going in that
Yeah.
direction, they want peace and they want answers and they want clarity.
People doing things like this. And again, for those of you that are out there listening going, hey, wait a minute, you told me it was okay for me to do it. And I probably did, because there are certain people I feel that's
Yes.
fine. But if I told you you shouldn't, it's probably for a very good reason. And go at your own risk. Free will is an amazing gift and curse all wrapped in the same, piece of bread. But the bottom line is,
They just said that's the taking of those things is an active physical form of a soul retrieval, and most people don't know how to do that. So that's you're not going to
most
retrieve
people
anything. You're
don't.
going to lose it.
Most
and
people
come back
don't.
with something different.
Well, exactly. It's kind of like, and this is going to sound like, I mean, I always look for something I can explain and compare things to. To me, this is like giving someone a shot of whiskey and a wrench and saying, go fix your engine of your car.
Interesting point. Yeah. You feel like you have
Because
the right
it's
tool, and it might work somewhere in the engine,
right.
but not everywhere.
But think of also it's your engine, and that's your brain, right?
Oh shit. That's the whole thing that makes it work.
That makes it right. And now
Okay,
you've
that's a
got a
lovely
screwdriver, and I
example.
hope to God you don't poke the wrong thing.
Well, and imagine, when things are tight, how often do we drop them?
Precisely.
So you even go in with the right tool, and then like we drop it, we get confused, and now what happens?
And again, if you do, I have nothing against it. I don't want all my Peruvian friends reaching out to me telling me I'm destroying their breadbasket, okay, which is their livelihoods. And I do have some that I know that would probably say that to me. But recognize if you're going to do that, it's not going to make you're not on the fast track, okay? You may come out with some pretty damn good things and get a little bit more understanding if you're the lucky one, get a more understanding of your life, and it may end up doing great things for you. I mean, shock therapy works like magic on some people, right? So you go and do you if you need to go do that. But recognize that's not a fast track to shamanism, okay? It's not a fast track to all of a sudden I go from 0 to 100 and now look at me, I'm wearing a white robe. So use good judgment, okay?
Well,
just like, if I drink a bottle of wine, I might think I can fly until I get on the roof and try, right? Use good judgment, people.
the funny thing is when you said wear a white or whatever, it seems true to be that the fact of the soul, you'll actually wind up dressing probably more eccentric or more like yourself. You wouldn't
Right.
dress like everyone else. Like that. That's
No,
never what you come comfortable with when you do
no,
this work.
no, no, no.
Well,
Uh,
it's a beautiful aspect of spirit.
Oh, it is a beautiful aspect. And again, I mean, this is real talk. We do shake the snow globe. And I don't have, from my perspective, I just want, if you're going to commit to being a certain thing, then be good at it. Don't just entitle yourself because it sounds like people will see you if you do, or all of a sudden now you become the authority. Because if you start talking crap and smack, and I know that you're doing that and you're saying you're this or that, some basic stuff is not even correct, I have an issue with you. And I do know too many of them, okay? And I'm not calling anybody out by name. I'm simply saying, if you're going to be this, be this. Shamanism is the most just enlightening, just amazing journey. And heck, if you can't feel like you're floating and flying just by thinking about it, maybe you don't need to be doing this stuff.
And I just felt too, if so I remember, this is a long time ago, but I remember I shoplifted from Walmart when I just got kicked out of my house, right? And I remember back then it was like anything under 150 or anything over 150, you're going to jail. So there I am.
Oh
And
gosh.
and it was so scary and I was so silly, but I got a phone in the minutes. So that put me, because I just was trying to survive, right? And I'm trying to remember why I brought that up because there was a point with this. Oh my gosh, I completely
Confessing,
blanked.
it's just
No, I'm just
helping
confessing my
around.
woes. No, but there was why did I bring that up? What were you talking about? You
I
were
love
saying,
it.
I'm
Spirit
so
just wanting
sorry.
you to regurgitate that. No, that's okay.
Well, you were saying the practice of it and kind of
The
to be
authentic
real
with it.
with it.
Right, get real with it.
Um,
Maybe you
I
just
have no
needed
idea why I
to
brought that up.
unleash that. I don't
I have
know.
no idea. There was a point into the purpose of sort of those that, they're kind of talking about the judge that the next day at arraignment, he said to me, hey, like, Walmart is not the place to steal from. They're going to prosecute every time. They have massive amounts of lawyers. And the whole point is, you think shamanism isn't going to protect itself? It's one of the oldest practices in the world. If you're
Oh,
going to
it
steal
sure
from a
is.
practice, I wouldn't steal from shamanism. It's like the Walmart of
Oh
the
my
world.
God, I love it.
I
That
couldn't
was
figure out why you bring
priceless.
that up.
Oh my gosh! Now, for all the shamans out there, we know you're not Walmart, but
No,
it's a
stop it.
wonderful, wonderful way to explain it. It is.
It's gonna defend
That
itself.
just melted my heart. I love that. That's exactly right. It's going to self-protect. It's going to take care of itself. And we're not picking on anybody. If you want to be a shaman,
No.
I don't care if you want to be Bozo the Clown. You probably don't even know who Bozo the Clown is. It's my timeline. But if you want to be Bozo the Clown, go be it. But if you're going to do it, you better be damn good at it. Okay? Otherwise, you're just not it. Okay? And I have to say this because this
And isn't
is
it funny?
shouting out.
Clowns are always in disguise.
Clowns are always in disguise. That's exactly right. I am going to shout this out because I don't have a choice because my vocabulary is moving in my mouth in this direction. But there are no deities hiding out in the lower worlds, people.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Mother Mary, Mother Hecate is not hiding out in the lower worlds waiting for you. Okay.
And there are we have a tendency to notice as well. Darkness has a tendency to travel in threes.
Yes.
So and good things do as well, but oftentimes beacons of light, they have a tendency to be alone because they understand they have to go journey in the dark alone. They don't need to be surrounded by themselves. Yep. Oftentimes when you see a helping hand, they're not usually with a group. They're not usually presenting as a team. So be very, very mindful of why would it need to show up in 3? Why would it need to show up in 5? Usually when we get gifts of spiritual awareness, it's usually the homeless guy that you don't want to talk to, who's showing up in your life saying, hey, you need to fix your car, and then just wandering away.
Love it.
Light. That's light.
I love it.
And it's just not what you want it to be. It doesn't present it the way you want it to feel, but light works like that, not in this team and this force of reckoning.
No. It's so funny you said that because and this is bizarre and it's like way off topic, but it's kind of on topic at the same time. You said it comes in groups of 3s. Well, we also know that there are good things that come in groups of 3s, right?
Creation is in 3s. Destruction is in 3. I said creation and destruction work in 3s.
That's exactly right. And it is funny because I developed a habit. I don't have it now. But when I was at a certain place, every time I would lock the door, I would go 1, 2, 3 out loud. Every single solitary time I locked the door.
Oh, curious.
And I never did that to the inner door. I did it to the outer door only.
Was it your what? Oh,
yes.
Were you stealing it?
Probably. I'd go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And I even thought about that, thinking, oh my God, why am I counting 1, 2, 3? What has provoked that in me? Mm-hmm. And there was never one time that I didn't do that.
Well, I do that too in my language. I always say thank you, thank you, thank you. Or also no. Like I have a weird thing with my speech in 3s.
The 3s, yeah.
Weird. That's so funny. Wow.
Okay. Yes.
Well, anywho, I feel very grateful because, that center is beautiful. The work that we do our best. Who can say we're not the best out there? I think you might be. But
excuse me.
Bless you.
Allergies are crazy.
Oh,
man. And it is a mini center. And I always cringe when I hear you all say that because it's just itty bitties. But it's our itty bitties, right?
And it's perfect.
It's perfect. It feels so good.
You're not overwhelmed with wares. That feeling sometimes you get, it's just everything is just so. I love that.
It is. And I love that. And again, when you're manifesting, please be mindful that it might come true. So manifest correctly. Manifest what you want. I kept saying over and over, I just want an office by the bathrooms. Seriously? People, come on.
It was perfect.
I got it. I could throw my keys into the men's room. So from my door.
I remember when I looked at it, when I first went in there to help paint, and I looked at those bathrooms, and I said to Steven, I said, are those the bathrooms from the other office? And he was like, yeah, because I thought maybe we're on the other side of the building. Well, we are. We're on that side of the building. Yes. From your if anyone's been into Terri's old office, you'll know what we're talking about.
Right. You have to wear a Fitbit to get to the restrooms.
Not anymore.
Not anymore at all. I
I
should
am
have
so in
asked for
love.
$1 million, right? Instead of asking for a bathroom next to my office.
Well,
Oh
it's
well, I'm
going to be
excited.
if anybody wants to go to see the class list, it's going to be at vitaperceptions.com. And then eventually we're going to get a Facebook group so that all the updates go through that. But it's just
Yes.
amazing. I'm so happy.
And
I
I'm
mean, it's
putting it
just
on Vita Perceptions Facebook now too. I'm doing
oh,
better at
perfect.
that.
Okay.
A
Yay.
lot of work, folks. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta do another event on Facebook. But no, I'm happy to do that. I found an easy way of doing it. I'm so excited. But
I think the really interesting and beautiful thing about you opening that is really nobody knew about it. Not really. And most people who would be opening that, I mean, I just can't only imagine how well aware we'd be. So I really think that even, I kept thinking, of course, if there's anyone who's just going to literally one day roll out a mini sender, it's Terri. Like, it just is here.
well,
I
I'm
love that.
grateful. I'm grateful. I can't do it alone, that's for sure. And I'm grateful, and it is a mini, okay? It's like Itsy Bitsy, love it to death, but it's a mini. But it's mine, and it's yours, and it's Steven's, and it's family, and that's all that matters.
And it's in the light.
And it's in the light.
And it's
In
so
the
much light.
light.
That whole wall of windows.
Exactly. Oh, and just in case, I want to do a shout out. I want to do a thank you shout out, if I may.
Yes, of course.
Just for a moment. I got this letter about a week ago. And it was so divine. It was delivered to me directly. I was so excited to receive it, hand to hand. And I just want to give a shout out, if a shout out is necessary, to say thank you so very much. I wanted things to be very, very clear, and they are. And I'm so relieved to know that. So don't you worry. I got the message. I'm so grateful. And I want you to know you should get the message too. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you
I
so
love
much.
you too.
And off we go in this world of the work we do. Off we go. And it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun. So we're gonna be able to. Oh my gosh, I keep thinking of it's just we can do what we want. It just feels
Oh my
lovely.
gosh, it's scary. I'm gonna run naked down the road. No, I'm not.
It's not that kind of sinner.
Not that kind of sinner. No, it's not that kind of sinner at all.
But Terri, thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you do for the community. Thank
I'm
you
grateful.
for opening this for the community.
Grateful to the community.
Well, and thank you for all that you do, because the community is a better and safer place because of you. Hands down,
Well, that's
no
very
questions
kind,
asked.
and I appreciate that kindness. And again, we all work as a team. We're none of us are in it alone. There's strength
As a
in
team
numbers.
with our team.
Team with our team. That's exactly right. And it's all about growing and knowing, always with love first, wisdom second.
Thank you. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Terri. I just love you to the moon and back.
I love you to the moon and back, and I love all of our listeners and viewers. If you have questions, don't hesitate. Reach out. We want to help. We want to know what you need to know. We don't know if we have the answer, but we'll sure give it a try.
We're going to try. We'll try to get it for you.
Yes, we will. Thank you so
all right.
much.
I love you.
Love you too. Got to get back to work now. See you at the center.
Bye.
Bye.